Welcome into another edition of the Coach Shinnick Show. Will Kennedy along with head coach Pete Shinnick from the University of West Florida on the road again, as we like to do, this time from Commerce, Texas. And coach, a 35-17 victory. We'll just get that out of the way early. How does it feel to, if not avenge the 2017 National Championship game, but be 3-0 and be really sitting where you want to be after 3 games?
Yeah, really, the 3-0 is the more important aspect from our standpoint. It'll be fun for our fans, I'm sure, to talk about that. But no, just for our team, I think, to face adversity. I think all 3 games we've been down. We've been down from the opening drive. And so then to be down at halftime and to face adversity. And really, our guys just handled everything well. And, my expectation is that our defense plays the way they did in the second half. That's very capable. We're not asking them to be superhuman. We're just asking them to do what they're capable of doing. And so really proud of them, how they came out. And, we feel like, again, we're going to get everybody's best. Okay? Everybody's going to want a piece of us.
In 2019, it was Austin Reed throwing an early interception. Now it seems to be the defense coming out a little flat. For 3 straight games, you've had the other team drive down and score a touchdown. So Commerce went down as we dive into the first half highlights, got the first points of the game. But the other side of that is your offense answers every time.
Yeah, we've really done a great job, and I think we punted once. We missed a field goal, I get that, but we punted once. We did fumble a punt return, which is completely unacceptable. But really our offense has answered the call. And whatever people have thrown at us, and I think Commerce threw the most diverse looks that we've had. And really, it's great to have a running game of the caliber that we do. And a lot of people obviously think Austin Reed, you got to stop Austin Reed, and you do. But when you try to double team people, Shamari Mason, Javon Newton, and Anthony Johnson find holes and find creases.
Death by 1,000 cuts. Larry Rimbert got you your first touchdown. Beautiful throw and catch with Austin from 33 yards out. They go down and score. Thompson punches one in, and then you come right back and you get, a touchdown from Anthony Johnson, the career rushing touchdown leader, and he just kind of bull in a china shop. And you're at 14-14 there in the first half, and then it kind of gets a little squirrely there at the end of the first half.
Well, it does. We missed the field goal, which Danny's got to be able to make that, and then we fumble the punt because I'm calling timeout, going, hey, we're gonna come right back at this thing. I think we had a minute 32 left or something like that, and I was looking forward to driving the ball and getting points on the board. That didn't happen, then we get the opening drive of the second half, and kind of started where we left off.
Was it not blocked on the field goal? Because that's what they had in the official, no?
Yeah, I don't think
You don't think so? No, just a shankopotamus right there?
I'll have to watch the film, but that would be kind, I think.
Slow-mo that.
Yeah,
and make sure.
That's what I think.
17-14 Argos. We're down at the half and some work to do in the second half. We'll get into the second half highlights right here on the Coach Shinnick Show.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
What does Argo Spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/about us.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby, got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before, you know it's true.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind, and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Look at that. That's called a takes two hands burger. Fresh 100% beef stacked high with melted cheese, hand-chopped veggies, and everything else you could possibly ask for. Yep, that's your Whataburger, made exactly the way you want it. Because sometimes, you gotta take matters into your own hands. What a burger, just like you like it.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. 17-14 was the score at halftime as we talk second half highlights with Coach Pete Shinnick. And after a 35-17 victory in Commerce, Texas, you come out and you mentioned in the last segment, offense a little bit, shaky to start the second half, and I knew coming out the defense was going to have to crank it up. They really dominated half number 2.
They really did, and I mean, again, I watch these guys every day, and so when they don't play to the level that I think they're capable of, that's a little frustrating. That was the comment at halftime. It's like, hey, with penalties, we're keeping drives alive for them. We helped them out in the first half. Just eliminate that and let's go play our best.
Yeah, and you guys have been really good discipline-wise. It was penalties in the first half that really kind of hurt and kept some drives alive for them. Anthony Johnson, I think, Javon Newton punches one in, gives you guys the lead in the game.
Yep.
And then the defense starts to assert their will. And we saw it from a lot of different places. Stephon Williams had a great game. Trent Archie off the corner with a couple sacks. Anthony Johnson Jr. came up with a textbook interception.
Huge.
And Key Wetzel, we saw the motor, stripping the ball, forcing a fumble. Durante Jordan recovers. So the offense is, the defense is giving the offense the ball back, and then it starts to click.
No, it does, and I think, probably one play that sticks out, you mentioned his name, recovering the fumble, but Durante Jordan, they ran a boot, and he was right there. Loss of 11 yards, set them back. Now we're getting them in situations that are very difficult for them. And again, when our offense gets the ball, we're finding ways to go. We went for it on fourth down, didn't get it right early, but then got the ball right back and then found ways to score.
Austin Reed can throw the ball into some tight windows. He gets you guys, extends your lead, fires one in from like 19, 20 yards out to David Durden. I was like, well, where's the space there?
Yeah, no, and he checked that too because it was one of the checks that we had talked about. He saw the coverage that he wanted and then really just put that thing on the money to David and really put us in a couple of great situations there. His checks really throughout the night, I think there was about 3 or 4 of them, they were fantastic.
You extend the lead 28-17 there early in the fourth quarter, 5 seconds in, and then defense gets it back again. You got Shamari going. Shout out to the offensive line. They dominated up front, I think, all night long. And then you get down there and it's like, does he put Anthony Johnson Jr. in again? No, you let Shamari in. I thought they had him in the backfield. He spun out.
Well, yeah, we felt like we kind of went with a little different philosophy, kind of changed some things up, and it paid off because I don't know that any other back gets out of that, and Shamari found a way to do it. And so, really, you mentioned our O-line. I mean, we felt going into this game that this defensive line could create some problems. And, I mean, I think they had 8 sacks coming into the game. They had numerous pressures, numerous hits on the quarterback. And so for our O-line, really, 3 weeks in a row, we have not given up a sack. Our tight ends are involved in that. Our running backs are involved in that. But, I mean, just a fantastic job on their part. Austin got hit a couple times, but sometimes he'll hold the ball and kind of wing it in there. But really impressed with the O-line play.
160 yards rushing, 400 plus, total offense. You guys, get that last touchdown, outscored them 21-0 in the second half, and shut them out in the second half.
Yeah, that was huge. And I mean, that's the difference in the game, and that's really where our guys, I think, just rose to the occasion, got done what they needed to get done. And that's why, we're sitting here right now, 35-17 with the victory, 3-0, and looking forward to going home happy and enjoy the ride.
It's a long ride back, but it's a happy ride back. And Coach Shinnick and I will be back later in the show to break down the next matchup with University of Fort Lauderdale coming in back in the friendly confines of Blue Wahoos Stadium.
Yep. Look forward to it.
All right, Coach. Coming up next, Maya Clark will dive in and update us on some of the other fall sports that are going on at the University of West Florida right here on the Coach Shinnick Show.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
What does Argos spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
You got me falling hard.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
I'm Maya Clark, and welcome back to the Coach Shinnick Show. Last weekend, the Argos had another successful weekend of play, going 5-0. Football defeated Texas A&M-Commerce 35-17. Trent Archie was named GSC Defensive Player of the Week, and Will Breland was named Freshman of the Week. Volleyball traveled to South Carolina for the FMU Invitational and went 4-0. On Tuesday night, they opened up conference play against Valdosta State and got their first conference win of this season. Jenna Zidlow won Freshman of the Week for the Gulf South Conference, and Varese Yon was named GSC Offensive Player of the Week and was named AVCA National Player of the Week, the first Argonaut to win it in program history.
I think it's a huge honor, having been here as many years as I've been, and haven't had a lot of marquee players and players that posted huge stats and big wins. For her to earn that award just says a lot about the kind of player she is, and she really has become not just a staple for us, but a threat in so many aspects of the game. So I'm very proud of her, very happy for our program, and she's extremely deserving of that honor.
It feels great to win such a cool award. No one else in the program has done it. At the beginning of the year, we said that we were going to break records this year, and we broke the single game blocking record 2 or 3 games ago. So we're just continuing on breaking and setting records. So we just have to be mentally tough. Every single time we play someone in our conference, they give us their best. So we just have to be ready to go to war. I feel like I just have to be more consistent and being a staple for the team, being a rock. I can't be up and down in my play and my emotions. I just have to be just a stable person in the team because we do have a lot of young players. So just being able to be, someone that the team can rely on in tough situations is really good.
I just think right now we're, managing different aspects of the game very well, and we've got specific players in rotations that cause people problems. We're not led by one player all the time, and I think that's kind of been our MO for the last few years, is to try to be as deep as possible. But definitely from an attack standpoint, this is probably one of the most efficient teams I've ever had. But I think that says a lot about Taylor, the offense that she's running, and then when we go into the 6-2, what Steph brings to the table. But in general, I think we've got a lot of players that are doing what they need to be doing to help our team win. We've got a lot of young players, but some of them are not as young as the roster says they are. So they're a little more seasoned, and being able to compete to the degree that we did last year and train, I think just made me feel a lot more confident in young players and kind of what they can do. But I think in general, this team has really no age, I guess is probably the best way to say it. So we've got a lot of older players who are in grad school right now. It's kind of a crazy time. And then, as many freshmen in theory that we have. But yeah, I don't really think that there's a thought process for me when I put players in as to she's a freshman or she's 18. It's she can provide us this and she can provide it now. So I think that brings a lot of confidence to our staff as to the strategic moves that we make in matches. And it helps us be in a position to problem solve our way out of a lot of different scenarios that our opponents are presenting.
This week, swimming will be right here at the UWF Aquatic Center as they face Thomas and South Georgia State. Diving will be on the road in Moultrie, Georgia for a diving invitational. Cross country traveled to Tallahassee for the FSU Cross Country Open. Zach Benton and Haley Middleton had top performances for the men. Leah Fenton and Sophia Spalding had top performances for the women. On Friday morning, they'll host the Argonaut Invitational. Here's Coach Caleb Carmichael.
We've had 3 races now in 3 weeks, so this is our 4th race. So to say we're a little tired going to this race is probably a fair assessment, but we've been prepping for this. We're looking forward to having to put on a good show for the community and finally get a chance for everybody to see us run. Pretty small race, but we're pretty excited for it. It's part of the hardest course they'll run on all year. It's a trail. It's a beautiful course. It's pretty, but it's very challenging. A lot of hills, a little bit of roots there. The surface is mainly dirt and trail, so a little slower. So we expect the times to be a little slower this week, but it's cross country, and you're more worried about placing than time, so this is a good chance to see that this week. We're seeing major progression. The first race was a lot of rust. We had to shake off a little bit, and then we saw a nice cool morning in North Alabama, and that got some really fast times. And then we saw a heavy dose of competition last week at FSU, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I mean, we ran against some great competition. We perform pretty well. Things to work on, sure, but I think we're definitely moving in the right direction. We look at the long picture, the big picture, I guess is the best way to see it. Like each day, hey, what are you working for? And that's really what we're thinking about. Like, why are you getting up at 6 a.m. and doing these runs, doing these workouts? What are you working for? What is your end game? What's your goal? And that's kind of how we keep motivated.
Both men and women's soccer games were unfortunately canceled this past weekend due to inclement weather, but women's soccer is back on the road against Valdosta State and West Georgia this weekend. For all the latest information on EWF athletics, visit GoArgos.com or follow GoArgos on Instagram and Twitter. We'll be back with Leah Fenton on the Coach Shinnick Show in just a minute.
What does Argo spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
Look at that. That's called a takes two hands burger. Fresh 100% beef stacked high with melted cheese, hand-chopped veggies, and everything else you could possibly ask for. Yep, that's your Whataburger, made exactly the way you want it. Because sometimes, you gotta take matters into your own hands. What a burger, just like you like it.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
We're here with Leah from Cross Country. Leah, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So what made you decide to choose UWF to come here and continue your academic career and your athletic career?
So originally I was thinking about doing, like community college. And I wasn't even sure I wanted to run in college, but senior year in high school, I started really getting into it and really fell in love with this sport. So I was like, if I could run in college, that would be awesome. So I have a twin brother that goes here as well, and he was looking at this school. He met with our coach, and he's just saying, it's a really cool campus. There's a lot of opportunities for you. And so I was like, might as well tag along with him. So I think I ran around campus when we were visiting, and our coach was just kind of skulking around on campus. He saw us. So I just kind of, went for it, and that's how I ended up here.
So what was your recruitment process like? You kind of touched on that, how your brother was coming here first. So what was that like for you to kind of be like, okay, I actually do want to do this?
Honestly, I think it was just like the fact that I had the opportunity to run in college. Like I hadn't really applied anywhere else because I didn't have a direct path I was interested in going in. So it was just the fact that I could run and seeing the team and everything and what that dynamic was like.
Okay, so what made you decide to run as a sport instead of just something that you did like by yourself, working out, or just for fun?
So I actually played soccer for a really long time. I ended up having a couple surgeries on my foot, and it caused me to have trouble kicking the ball. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do for exercise now. I like getting out and doing something for exercise just because it keeps me calm, keeps the anxiety low. So my brother mentioned that cross country was really fun in high school, so I tried it out and I loved it. So it just ever since then I haven't stopped running.
And then last season you weren't able to compete, so how did you stay motivated to keep pushing yourself to just stay in shape to be able to run whenever that opportunity came?
For me, like I was saying about anxiety, it really keeps mental health strong, and the routine of it all is something that really helps me. I notice that if I don't get out of bed and go for a run, the whole day I just feel like I'm in a slog. So definitely just getting out there and running every day was something I needed to do for my own self, but also just knowing that we will be racing at some point. So just keeping, mileage under my legs is important for me.
So what is a typical race day like for you? Like, how do you mentally prepare? Like, what kind of goes into getting you in the right mindset to race?
Let me think. So I definitely listen to a lot of music. I got to get in the zone, but coffee is a huge deal for me. If I don't have a cup of coffee before a race, I just know I'm not going to do as well. It gets everything moving, it gets me, energetic, and Coach doesn't love the idea of coffee, but it really does help me, whether he realizes that or not. But yeah, honestly, just the warm up with my teammates, kind of talking about the course, seeing what it's like, and hydrating the night before. That's really important for me as well. But pretty much just getting ready in my head mentally, visualizing myself on the course.
And then what has been your greatest memory running?
Mostly just the trips that we go on. Like, there's so much random stuff that happens, and then just being with teammates in different, areas and racing. And honestly, like, there's kind of, it's kind of a cool thing going through, like, races, which is such a hard feeling, but with other people. So it's kind of like going through pain with a bunch of other people. It kind of bonds you more than other things. So it's just mostly spending time with other people.
Haley, thank you so much. We'll be back in just a moment on the Coach Shinnick Show.
Realm Apartments is a proud sponsor of the Argonauts. Realm is opening less than a mile from campus and is now leasing brand new apartments and townhouses for a fall 2021 opening. These apartments come fully furnished and rates include water, sewer, cable, Wi-Fi, and trash. Check out realmlife.com for more information. Go Argos!
What does Argo Spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. We've traded the scorching, blistering heat of Texas for rainy Florida, but it's good to be back at home and a home game. First one this season at Blue Wahoos Stadium. University of Fort Lauderdale is coming in. We don't know a whole lot about them, do we?
No, really don't. Only played a couple of games. Their first game was unable to be played, so we have some film of them against a couple of opponents. But really a new program, and as we've talked about trying to find home games and trying to find scheduling options, we're probably going to play some people that our fans aren't quite familiar with over the course of the next couple of years.
They went and played Mississippi College last week, an opponent you're very familiar with. 63-0 was the final score there. You've started programs. You've kind of been been in their shoes before. It's not always as easy as you have made it look at your different stops.
Well, it's difficult and it's hard, and then again to get any type of momentum, first couple years of a program is always difficult, and so you got to schedule some people that you're not comfortable with, and we're probably one of those teams. But as we were sitting there ending the game a week ago, it looks like they're going to Commerce the following week, so they've not been afraid to schedule people, and they'll take on anybody. It looks like at this point in time.
Jump right into the deep end there. How do you approach a week like this, from a coaching standpoint? I know there's a lot of cliches that you have to toss out, but you do have to go into conference play right after. So I imagine keeping momentum and keeping rhythm is vital.
No, that's crucial, and really that's what we've talked about really from day one. We talked about, hey, if we win a game, we're going to enjoy it up till Monday, but then we got to learn and grow and get better. And so Monday is our day to start afresh, start anew. And you hit it right on the head. I mean, really, if we don't get better this week, then what's going to happen to us next week when we're on the road at Delta, next week after that when we're on the road at North Greenville? Got to get better every week in order to handle the Gulf South Conference.
And we've touched on it here on the program before that you have played a lot of people in the first 3 weeks of the season. So depth has already been tested, and this will be a game where you most likely can get a lot of guys in and get some experience.
Yeah, if we do things right, we look to be able to get numerous guys in the game, continue to grow that experience. Been really pleased with what we've been able to do, playing numerous guys at numerous positions. What we're really looking forward to is, having the opportunity to be at Blue Wahoos Stadium this weekend. Stands up, everything's set up. It'll be, we want as many people in the stands as we can get. Would love to get another 5,000 people like we had here on campus. So looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
What can you tell us about Fort Lauderdale, from what you've seen on the film? What can we expect?
Yeah, I think they're a multiple front defense, with, three-man front, kind of like what we've seen with a couple of our opponents now. Offensively, I think they want to spread the ball out, throw it a little bit. So maybe similar to what we saw out of Southwest Baptist. They've got some speed on offense. They can get behind you. Their wide receivers can run. Quarterback has the arm, the ability to get the ball downfield. So, I think every time you look at an opponent, you go, okay, what are their strengths? What are our strengths? Again, I look for our team to say, we got to be dialed in. We got to play great football.
And they usually are. They listen to their coach and take coaching very well. As Coach mentioned, Blue Wahoos Stadium is the spot for University of Fort Lauderdale coming in. 6 o'clock kick. We'll have the radio pregame at 5:30 on ESPN Pensacola. And this is one of those multi-platform, multi-dimensional broadcasts. Will be on CST and YourView, and then through Flow Sports with the Gulf South Conference. So lots of ways to check out the Argos. Good luck to you and the guys this week, Coach.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you guys watching. Remember, GoArgos.com is your central location for all the fall sports that are going on, to follow the football team as well, and the Argo Armada app right there in your hand. You can find out things about Coach Shinnick that you never knew before, and the rest of the team as well. So dive into that. And we'll see you next time right here on the Coach Shinnick Show.